Welcome back to the Overanalyzer, the podcast that me and my cousin and my brother have that we upload once a year. Here to my right is none other than Jose Ladera. Say hi.
Hello, everybody.
And then to his right, we have my brother, David. No, Acel Delgado.
Present.
All right. So we watched a series on Amazon Prime called
The Boys.
Well, you guys actually did that in pretty good unison. All right, so let's talk about why we, how about The Boys. First impressions, your thoughts on the trailer before we start watching, all spoiler free, and then we'll, dive into spoilers.
Did you watch the trailer?
Yes, I did, but I don't remember it that well anymore.
I just remember the first one didn't really catch my attention, and it wasn't until the second one that I considered watching the show.
But what did you think of the trailer when you first saw it? Not necessarily like what was in it.
I mean, I thought that, I want to watch the show. I think the idea of superheroes being like giant really appeals to me.
Shit. Very eloquently put. You really hit the C word, didn't you?
Might as well get it out right away. That way they know what kind of podcast it is right away.
I mean, yeah.
I guess I could bleep that out.
You could, but are you going to? And did you guys ever read ever know that it was based on a comic book though before you saw the trailer?
Yeah, because you told me every fucking time.
Yeah, because you told me every fucking time.
Yeah, well, you guys are welcome. All right, well then let's launch into the spoiler-free summary review. What do you guys think of The Boys?
I would say it's pretty good overall.
I'll try to be a movie critique. The Boys captures what other shows, including Marvel and DC shows, do on primetime, like the CW or Netflix. But the fact that nobody really knows anything about these characters, they're more intrigued about the characters that's portrayed through the episodes. Whereas like on Netflix or the CW with their superheroes, they kind of don't care because they already know who they are and they just want to see some interesting stories and whatnot.
Yeah, because it's it's characters based on other characters, but since it's not like actually Superman or Captain America, they can do whatever they want with that character instead of being confined to what those characters are known for. Jose, any thoughts?
No, my DM's dry.
Nice.
No. As far as a TV series goes, I feel like it probably hits a lot more marks than a lot of other shows do. Superhero shows, that is.
Yeah.
It captures, I don't know. It definitely, it's not as cheesy as anything that Marvel or DC puts out. And I personally like that. Mm-hmm. The characters that are bad, they're bad. They're not really that redeemable. They're pretty bad.
Especially from the aspect of where the story is being told. It's not being told from the superhero's perspective.
Right.
But an outsider named Huey, who gets recruited by this group called the Boys.
Well, he gets recruited by Billy Butcher, who forms the group The Boys.
But in essence, it's basically it's kind of like the reverse of what a superhero show or a superhero movie is. You're not actually following the heroes. You're following the anti-heroes who are trying to take him down. They're trying to spank him.
Trying to spank the bastards. That's my shitty English accent.
You should have just let it stand on its own.
Yeah. Anyway, all right. Do you guys have a favorite character from the season?
I mean, I guess mine's everybody else's favorite character, Billy the Butcher.
Okay, you like one of the main characters. What about you, Jose?
No, yeah, Billy Butcher's probably everybody's favorite character. But as far as my second favorite character, I want to say that it's gonna be either Starlight or Frenchie.
Yeah, what you like about Frenchie?
Frenchie is just fucking crazy.
Yeah.
I can totally get down with Frenchie's craziness. Who else just goes into a situation with female Wolverine in this universe and just gets down with it like, hey, I'm like you.
All right, we
Can
might as well
you
go.
show me?
All right, we might as well go into spoilers at this point. So if we feel like putting a timestamp for, fuck it, we're at spoilers now. All right.
Oh, I was just gonna say my second favorite character would probably be Homelander.
Yeah, I think my favorite is Homelander. Like in the beginning, I was like, whatever, he seems fine. The more the season went on, and the more like unhinged, but also just like manipulative he is, I was just like, oh damn, I didn't realize that what this show needed to be good was a good Homelander. Like if it didn't have that, it wouldn't have stood on its own two legs.
It's like what everybody wants to see from Superman is him turning bad. Just like that's why the Injustice storyline did so well, because they got a bad Superman.
Yeah, exactly.
I
And
didn't read that.
you didn't read it? Did you play the video games? Basically, Superman goes bad and then becomes like Nazi dictator.
Oh.
The Boys is just more on the nose about it. Yeah. Oh, you said Starlight was another one of your favorite characters between her and Frenchie?
Yeah. Well, Starlight is probably this show's actual Superman or Superwoman or
the only actual hero.
Right, the only actual hero. She she's uncompromising when it comes to, where she stands on her morals. And so, as the contrast to every other hero in the show, that's where her strength as a character is that she doesn't go, no, I'm gonna give in. She keeps fighting all that corruption. And so definitely the opposite of all the heroes quotes in the show. And yeah, Homelander, definitely you're gonna love to hate Homelander. That's just, he's doing his job great if he's making you hate him. As a villain, he's doing really well.
Yeah. All right. Let's go back to Billy Butcher. I'm sure I can guess why, but why specifically do you guys like him outside of his British accent, the fact that Carl Urban plays him?
Who?
Billy Butcher.
No, I know, but who?
Carl Urban.
Who's that?
Carl Urban?
I don't know. What else has he been in?
He was in Star Trek. He's the guy.
He's Bones.
Bones? From Star Trek.
Bones in Star Trek.
Which Star Trek?
The newer ones.
The newer ones, but like
Bones? Who's Bones?
Carl Urban.
I watched the movie, but I really...
He's the one in the blue shirt that has like a regular like accent that's always like with Kirk. He's like the doctor.
Oh, he's the doctor?
He's like, damn it, Jim, I'm a doctor, not a whatever.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What else is he in?
He's in a lot of stuff. He was
Judge
in
Dredd. He was in like I think he was in what's that one Vin Diesel movie where
Triple
he's
X?
blind?
No. Oh, Chronicles of Riddick?
Chronicles of Riddick. I think he was in one of those movies. He was also in Thor.
Yeah, you're right. He was what was his name?
I forgot his name.
Something with the Destroyer. It was
Turk. Todd.
No, he was the dude that had like the two M5, the two
M15s.
rifles.
I don't know.
And Thor Ragnarok, he's like, this one's D, this one's Destroyer. Together they're Destroyer.
Oh.
I forget his name. Oh, something the Executioner, because like hell, I made him the Executioner in that movie.
Gotcha.
And then he's like, no, I'm gonna be a good guy, and then like dies. Spoilers.
The good guys die.
For a 2-year-old movie. 2?
I think it's 2.
Year and a half.
It was 2017.
That spoiler also
2
holds
years.
true for Infinity War. And
Listen, I don't care. The amount of
And Endgame.
Yeah, listen, the amount that those two movies made in the box office. If you haven't seen them by now, you can't get pissed off at a spoiler.
Especially with the people who've seen him like more than 10 times.
Not just that, it literally broke the box office record for the highest grossing movie of all time, not adjusted for inflation.
And then they showed like 2 weeks after they showed all the spoilers in the promotional trailers.
Yeah, I thought that was funny. Because I was like, I've already seen this. Yeah. What do you guys think of the plane scene though? Yeah.
damn.
I was a little hurt because I mean, let's walk through it.
Okay.
Go by the step by step.
Okay, so step by step. Essentially, at this point in the show, they're trying to get superheroes in the military, like, fighting alongside them. But
Just to be involved in general.
yeah, just be involved in general in the missions and stuff like that. Excuse me.
Right. New ultimate weapon of war.
Basically, yeah. and they're lobbying hard, but Congress, the government, whatever, doesn't want them because I mean it's not really said explicitly in the show, but it's kind of implied that like they're reckless, they have like a high casualty rate on their missions. So to help expedite the process of it getting approved and people being on board with it, Vought Industries sends Homelander and Queen Maeve, who is like their version of Wonder Woman, on a mission to rescue a hijacked plane.
Oh, just state the fact that Homelander's the version of Superman, just so people don't get confused.
I think we said it a couple.
Well, no, just like every time you say their names or something like that.
Okay, yeah, Homelander's basically Superman, and then should we just use their names, like who they're supposed to be?
The Superman character or the Superman?
Fuck, you know what? No, it's fine. We'll just say their names.
Okay.
Because we're talking about those characters. So him and Queen Maeve, Superman and Wonder Woman, go onto the plane, and they take out like four of them, terrorists that are like inside the cabin, real easy. And the crowd's cheering like, yeah, good job, blah, blah, blah. And then they realize, huh?
Homelander.
Yeah.
Like, you guys are the real heroes.
You guys are the real heroes. He says this a lot. It's his catchphrase at this point. And then they realize that the cockpit door is still closed, and that there's like a rust or something like that behind there. So then they go over there, and they see the last terrorist holding the last pilot that's still alive hostage.
Because the other one had his throat slit, so there's only one pilot.
Exactly. And he's standing obviously in front of the controls. And, it's a bit of a standoff, and then the guy just cuts the dude's throat, and then Homelander slices him with his laser vision, which, by the way, this show made me realize just how scary, a superhero with laser vision could really be.
Especially from the first episode.
Yeah. Which,
Man, you know what? This show does not pull any punches when it comes to the blood and gore.
No, the comic book is worse, but we'll get into that later. And then once he slices through the dude with his laser vision, he also slices into the controls. And the way Homelander reacts is just like he made a mess. He's like, well, okay, not my fault. And, he's trying to walk away.
He's like, we're done here.
Basically. And Queen Maeve is just like, we got to land this plane and fly. He's like, no, we can't do it anyway. I fried the controls. In a use. It's like, okay, well, you fly outside and then try to fly the plane down. He's like, and push off what? Air? And besides, if I try to push onto the plane, I'll just go straight through the hole, which is basically just calling bullshit on Superman Returns or any other superhero movie that has the flying character land planes. You're like, yeah, no, they'd go straight through the hole of the ship.
I mean, you know what? Homelander totally fried the controls, but all of the essential instruments weren't fried.
I mean, yeah, because all you just need the controllers to at least keep the slowly.
The stick and the throttles were still intact. I mean, but he didn't know how to fly a plane.
He didn't want it to be his problem anymore.
Yeah,
that's probably what it really was.
Which leads into the next suggestion Maeve had, which is fly him down one by one. And he's like, yeah, fly back up and down 236 times. No,
123.
We're done. 123 times. We're done here.
I mean, I'm pretty sure he could have flown back. I don't know, maybe a third of the passengers. But
Save some amount, yeah.
Yeah, he didn't even want to try, though.
Yeah, basically just like, no, we're done here. It's done. And then the passengers are worried, and they're like, are you going to save us? Like, yeah, of course I'm going to save you. You guys are the real heroes. Yeah. And throughout this, it shows a couple of shots of a mother and her daughter on this plane that Queen Maeve keeps seeing. And then the little girl walks up to home, asks Homelander. She had a doll with her, but it wasn't a Homelander doll, was it?
Yeah, it was a Homelander doll.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Positive.
You want to watch the show again?
Yeah.
Because I don't mind. No.
I'm pretty sure it wasn't a Homelander
No, it
doll.
was, because in the other episodes, remember, that's where they kept drugs in when they were shipping them or whatever? The Homelander
doll?
It was probably a superhero doll, but
I bet you $5 it was a Homelander doll.
I don't want to bet that money.
Then just say it was a Homelander doll.
I'm not going to say your words that you want me to say.
It was a Homelander doll. I'll put a picture up on the screen right now.
All right, Jordan Peterson.
Anyway,
I'm gonna put a picture up so then they know.
I want you to look at. I can't wait for you to look it up and then put the caption.
I'll cut it. I don't care if I'm wrong.
No. And then she's like, "Oh man, are you gonna save us?" She's like, "Oh, of course I'm gonna save you, sweetie." And then the passengers are getting more rowdy, and he's like, "No, we're fucking done here." And then
he just books it.
And then Maeve is just like, at least save these two. He's like, no, they're witnesses, so they can tell the world that we left the rest of these people were here to die. we're done here.
And then people start trying to get out and like help us. And then
he's
he
just
gets
like,
mad.
"I'll fucking laser all. I'll
Laser
laser
every
last one, motherfuckers."
Yeah, don't yell so close.
He
to the mic.
raises
my
his
bad.
voice. He's like, "Step the fuck back!" with his laser eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Once again, you don't realize it because Homelander uses his laser vision a lot more than Superman does, and you realize just how scary that is. Red glowing eyes, shit. And then the mother even goes up to Maeve and is just like, "Just save my daughter, just save my daughter," and Homelander's like, "You want to die with them or you want to come back with me?" And then Maeve's like, I'm sorry," and then they leave the plane to die.
Yeah. They probably should have just like trained him with like some basic physics. I mean, all he could have done is like flown out and like, the elevator on the plane at the rear, just like moved it a little so that.
I think the point is that he just could have tried anything. But
He was lazy.
There was just so much he could have done and he just didn't do it. And
even if you take basic physics into it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's sad.
Yeah.
It's super sad that he's just the worst fucking superhero. Super person.
Yeah. No, the show makes him way worse from the get-go than the comics do, because in the comics that scene is actually just straight up the 9/11 terrorist attack. And they could have saved that plane, but the Deep, which is the Aquaman character, he messes up somehow. I forget how. And in the comics version, the Deep is black, and A-Train, the Flash character, is white, and then they switch in this one. Mm-hmm. But on the plane, the Deep messes up somehow. I forget how. And Homelander straight up just hits him with the N-bomb over and over again. And he's trying to help, but then eventually he's like, "No, we got to get out of here because then we're going to die too." Mm. So they made it even worse in the TV show, I think.
Really?
Yeah, just in the sense of how shitty Homelander is. Not necessarily the damage and the collateral damage.
Whereas in the comic, it was just a shitty situation. Whereas in this one, Homelander was a shitty person that didn't try anything else.
Yeah, it was. They were put into something that was above their pay grade and above their skill level in terms of saving people. Whereas this one was just basically Homelander being too lazy.
Oh, speaking of that Homelander scene, it also ties into that. There's like a shooter on a building, and then Homelander and Maeve go to check it out, and then they're casually walking and talking, right? Yeah, and they're getting shot at.
Yeah, very Pulp Fiction style.
Yeah, and then they go to where the police are. It's like, "Oh, we're here." It's like, "You guys are the real heroes." And then Homelander flies up to the building, whereas Maeve just takes the elevator, and then he's just waiting for her over there.
Yeah.
Why didn't he just like pick her up and? Yeah, hi.
Lazy, bro.
And then they walk into the room with the shooter. The shooter immediately puts the gun down and raises his hands like, "Oh, okay, you got me."
Yeah.
But then Homelander, the person that he is, like, "No, you deserve to die." He I don't know if he grabs his heart or he just squeezes his chest or like he just reaches into him.
He just like punches into his chest.
Yeah, punches into his chest. And then the worst part was when he's just like, "Shh, it's over, it's over."
Yeah.
And I was like, that's the worst way to die. Just like, it's over, it's okay, it's done. And then gets blood on his. I was like, ugh. And then Homelander's like, we got to make. He's like, remember what happened? He's like, they shot first. They shot first. So then he gets the gun and then shoots Maeve, and she's like, "Oh, the things I let you do to me." And it's kind of like showing what kind of relationship they have together because they used to date supposedly.
Yeah.
Yeah, but and that's definitely some social commentary right there.
Yeah.
Police planting drugs and planting scenes and hey, where's that body cam footage? Right. Can't find it.
All right, so off that weird tangent, what other scenes did you guys like?
Hey, come on, that's gonna be part of the show.
Oh,
superheroes are gonna need body cameras.
Yeah, how are you gonna tell Superman, "Hey, bro, wear a body cam"? Like, no, I don't care. You want to get saved or not? You make me wear a body cam, I ain't gonna come save you.
Oh, you know what?
Is that what police say?
No, but they can't say that because they don't have invincibility, super strength, flight, and heat vision.
They have the next best thing.
And they can literally take over the world.
Next best thing.
Anyway, you're going to say something?
The backing of the world's most powerful country.
Whatever.
What's a very interesting part of the show is something they don't really talk about when like Justice League or something like that, like the cartoon.
Yeah.
Because that's just missions and stuff like that. Not really in Avengers, but the like advertising of superheroes, like the superhero brand, the toys, this and that, and then there's a meeting with the Seven. This is when Starlight. It's like her first meeting. She sees like translucent, and I'm like, oh, translucent, which is he wasn't in the comics, right?
No, but like he's just the invisible character.
He's the invisible character in his skin. He's
I
got like
re-
indestructible
I really
skin.
liked how all the promotional material of him is just like smoke.
Yeah.
They didn't even try there.
Yeah, move the mic a little further back. You kind of clipping a little bit. That or just move it further away when you get louder.
My bad. But yeah, he's just smoke and all the promo material. They're just not even trying with his character. They're like, fuck it. Well, he does die pretty early. Spoilers. So
Yeah, we've established we're in the spoilers. You can't just get you can't go on a tangent and be
Damn
like, just in case, because I forgot.
just
spoilers.
in case. He totally dies via rectal explosives.
Yeah, gets a bomb shoved up his ass.
And then when
Yeah,
he
that's what I
wakes up-
said.
When he wakes up, he's like, "What did you do to me?" Originally, I thought like when Huey gave him the water, like, is he gonna like permafry him or something? But no, that would have been creative though.
Yeah, that's just also what I thought.
Yeah,
I thought there was something on the water, something with the water gonna happen.
yeah. But yeah, no, Translucent was a new character that they made for the TV show because in the comic they had. Well, I mean, in the TV show they talk about Lamplighter retiring, so that's why Starlight's there. But they had James from Jupiter or something like that, which is basically the John Jones character of like the Martian Manhunter character of the Seven. And yeah, no,
Just named the cell.
Wait, is Starlight in the comics?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
She's in the comics. Actually, you know what? You know that first scene with the Deep,
Yeah.
where like he's just like suck my dick and shit. In the comics,
pay your dues.
it's actually Homelander that starts it off, and then A-Train and then Black Noir show up, and she's like, "Oh my god, A-Train, Black Noir, thank you. Homelander was being creepy," and then they pull their pants down too, and they're like, "Suck our dicks too." And then she throws up in the bathroom just like that too, with her makeup all runny.
So I guess it's not as bad in the show, huh?
No, they pulled some things back just because like some of it's like that's a bit too much. Just like why are you going so?
Especially in this Me Too thing.
Which is funny because they actually bring that up in the show too.
Yeah.
She like Me Too's the Deep, and then
the
he's just
Deep gets
fucked.
relocated.
Yeah, and then the Deep gets sexually assaulted, kind of too.
Oh yeah,
The chick just
Oh,
fingering
that's
fingering his
right.
fin. He's like, I don't like that. She's like, stop being a pussy.
because he's got
Take-
gills on
take
his
my-
like abdominals.
Yeah,
That's why he always wears the suit. And then the girl's like, "Oh, take it off." He's like, "Girls usually like it when I keep it on." She's like, "I'm not like most girls." And then he's like, "All right." And then you could see his gills, and she's just fingering his gills, and you could tell it hurts because like, "Stop, it hurts." I said no.
yeah.
It's just very ironic.
Remember, guys, don't let a girl finger your gills if you don't want it.
It's really hot in here.
Oh, it's gonna get hotter.
Now, can you actually? Is there a way to turn off this light in here?
There is, but I can't reach it anymore.
Okay. Well,
Can you hand me a...
no, it's fine. Don't worry about it. We'll worry
Hold
about
on.
it later. Oh,
Fuck, I missed.
Jesus
you
Christ!
just
It's
almost
fine.
broke it.
We'll worry about it later.
Hold on, I'm gonna use...
Oh
these.
my God! Just stop. Stop.
Did it.
Okay, cool. Now I can't read my notes. You feel happy? No, it's fine. Leave it on.
You asked
Leave it
for
on.
this.
I know. So there's actually a scene that Amazon had the showrunners cut from the show because they're like, no, fuck it, that's too much. You guys want to know what that scene is?
What's it?
So it's in the second episode after Sitwell. She like, what's it called? Like she like lays, like she just reprimands Homelander. It's just like puts him in his place. Cause she says he can't, like something about a speech, something like that. He goes up to like the top of Vought Tower, looks across like New York and just starts jerking off. He's like, I can do what the fuck I want. I can do what the fuck I want. Just jerking off in midair.
They should have kept that in.
Yeah,
I know, right?
I feel like that one's not that
in.
bad.
No, yeah. And Amazon's like, no, that's too much. It's like,
Seriously?
yeah.
The first 10 minutes of the show are probably worse than that.
I agree.
All right. For anybody who doesn't know, the first 10 minutes. So Huey, he's got his girl with him, and they're having this really sweet moment, and she just steps off the curb.
Just
for,
half
like,
step off.
Just
a
half step off, and boom!
Gee, dude.
Sorry about the clipping. Don't worry. Fix it in post.
Okay, yeah, you will.
Is that better?
Yeah, that was way better.
Okay. She just explodes, just into blood and whatever. Huey's just like left holding her hands.
which is almost exactly how it happens in the comics. The only difference is that they're at a fair.
Yeah.
And instead of A-Train straight up running through her, A-Train throws a villain in her direction. She happens to be there, and she ends up just splattered flat on a wall.
Yeah.
But like Huey's still holding her dismembered hands, though.
Yeah.
Actually,
And you see all of that. There's just like a wave of blood, like in supersonic slow-mo blood.
you see like bits of the spine and bones and shit.
Yeah. It was super gruesome right away, right from the beginning.
Yeah.
Like you knew exactly what was going to happen in the rest of the show. Nothing fucking good.
Yeah. So a little bit of trivia here. So you know how Simon Pegg was Huey's dad in the show?
Simon Pegg.
Huey's dead.
Who's Simon Pegg?
The dude that
He
played
was in
Huey's
Star
dad.
Trek.
He was also
Oh, he's
Scotty.
He's Scotty. Okay, that one I do know.
yeah. He was also in all those Edgar Wright films like Hot Fuzz, Shaun of the Dead.
Yeah.
So in the comics, the character of Huey, not Huey's dad, but Huey, was based on Simon Pegg's likeness, back when he had like a buzzed head and like the goatee.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I can kind of see that now that you mention it. Because I thumbed through the first little bit of the comic that you have,
Yeah.
and I can see that now that I kind of think back about Huey and
So
the
is
way he
that
was
why they
portrayed in the
casted him as
comics.
his dad?
Yeah, that's exactly why he was cast as his dad. And I think, what's it called? If they were able to make the show sooner when Simon Pegg was still young, they would have just cast Simon Pegg. Kind of like how in like the Marvel Ultimate Comics, like Nick Fury, they made him black and they made him look like Sam Jackson.
Yeah.
And then the Marvel movie's just like, hey, Sam, you want to do the films? He's like, give me money. They're like, of course. We're not going to do this for free. He's like, cool, motherfucker.
No, but give me a lot.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with making some money here and there. All right,
Exactly.
let's say stay alive in this world.
Yeah. So, we have to talk about our sponsor, Audible.com. No, I'm just kidding.
No, wait. Now we have to talk about our actual sponsor. Jesus
Jose's
Christ.
mom's parents' house. Jose's mom's parents' house is very good for when you want to record podcasts in the dark, in the heat, just sweating your damn balls off.
And also for movies such as...
The
Take this
Revenant.
away?
Movies and content such as The Grove,
Southdown.
and that's about it.
Yeah, you've only shot those two here. Features of Jose's house include bugs, mosquitoes, gophers, wolverines, coyotes, and
The occasional bat. Man.
so book your reserve here at Jose's parents' house today. Use our promo code GANGGANG to save 25% off your first reservation and get a free merch bundle with every other order of toast. Thank you again, Jose's parents' house. All right, so now we need to talk about that ending.
Do we have to?
Yeah, because I messaged you earlier on Messenger and you said, I didn't like it. And I said, why? And you're like, save it for the podcast. I'm like, no, you're right.
So just explain and then ask him why he didn't like it.
Okay, so at this point,
Or just what going up to what information's needed and then tell
basically
it. and
Billy Butcher's wife has been missing for about like 8
then
years.
8 years, yeah.
And when she first went missing, dude, stop jerking off. Oh, you're not. You're just shaking your leg. It looked like you were jerking off. He found some video evidence that Homelander raped his wife. And after that, she, went missing. So ever since then, he's had a hard-on for killing Homelander.
Trying to kill Homelander.
Yeah, and superheroes in general. So then he finally... it's discussed, I think, in the episode before, maybe even just that episode, about like every superhero's weakness. It's like, it's not kryptonite or this special thing or whatever. It's people. People are our weakness. So he takes this, which, by the way, no one ever said that line of dialogue to him, but like he just kind of knew it.
Well, no, he was talking to Mallory, and then she's like, "Oh, that's your best bet is Sitwell."
Oh, okay, yeah, because he was looking for leverage. Yeah, because him and Sitwa have a very Oedipus-like relationship.
Oh yeah, it's super gross.
It's super Oedipus.
Super gross and not.
Yeah.
It's hard to watch at times.
Very hard to watch because you're just like, fucking gotta keep my shit down. It's just like,
What?
fuck. Anyway. Yeah, can we cut that part? Then,
No.
so Butcher kidnaps, well, not kidnaps, he breaks into Sitwell's house and ties a bunch of C4 to her so that way Homelander comes in and that way he can get Homelander and, like, you know.
And it's like a dead man switch.
Yeah, basically if he lets go of the thing or, like, it's taken away from him, it detonates. And also she has a baby, which, by the way, was the baby still in the house?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Homelander. Brought
Okay.
the baby.
We'll get to that. So, I'm taking way too long on this explanation. So basically, Homelander asks, like they exchange some dialogue, and Homelander basically reveals to Sitwell that he knows the truth, and then he just lasers her eyes out, and then he talks to Butcher, and it's like, that's your whole motivation for this? Was you thought I did that to her? He's like, no, she was willing, blah blah blah. And then I forget what else he said. But then after he killed Sitwell, he's like, so what was your plan again? And then Butcher's just like, oh well. And detonates with the baby still right there. So he detonated the explosives, for sure blew up the house, for sure killed the baby, and we thought himself. But then it does a fade in, like a white fade in, and we see him on
Cut right
someone's
there.
lawn. Huh?
So before that, Homelander had been trying to find out why she went missing. What's his wife's name? Becca?
Yeah, Becca.
She wanted to know why she went missing because he knew that he did have a thing with her. But then he had been told that...
Oh, yeah, that the baby... First, he was told that the baby died that her and the baby died during childbirth. And then Sitwell told him that...
It was a miscarriage.
There was a miscarriage. And then the camera's like, Jundum. And you're like, wait. And at that moment, I completely forgot the difference. I was like, no, that's still the same thing, right?
But I know.
But anyway, so then, before he lasers her eyes, he says, like, after our chat, I went back to talk to Dr. Vogelbond or whatever and get the real truth about, my son. And then, like, lasers her eyes or some shit like that. And then the explosion, blah, blah, blah. Butcher's on, like, someone's lawn. Then Homelander's like, damn, you're out for quite a while. You can thank me for saving your life later. And then we see a blonde, like, 8-year-old coming out. And then we see...
The 8-year-old's like, oh my God, you're Homelander.
Yeah. And he's like, yeah, I sure am. And whatever. And then
He's like,
Becca...
I'm your dad.
Yeah. And no, he asks, like, do you know who I am? He's like, yeah, you're Homelander. He's like, yeah, I am, little buddy. I'm also your dad. And then the mom comes out, which is Becca, Billy Butcher's wife. She's still alive.
Who was presumed dead.
Yeah. By the way, her face looked familiar to me when, like, you first see her. So I was like, who is she? And I looked her up. She's Patty Spivot from The Flash, season 2.
I figured.
Yeah, I totally thought she was the older woman in Sucker Punch. Remember?
Carla Gugino?
Yeah.
I guess
Carla
they kind of
Gugino.
look alike.
I totally thought that was her, but it wasn't. And then it just ends there. Billy Butcher's wife is still alive. The kid survived and has powers because his eyes light up red too. And that was the ending. What about that don't you like, Jose?
Well, let's see. To begin... Wait, why do I have to go first?
Because you're the one that's contrarian about this. I thought it was very interesting just because it deviates from the comics a lot. Because in the comics, it's basically they get married, and then on the honeymoon, the seven are there and some other superheroes because there's a superhero convention where they're having their honeymoon. Then after the honeymoon, when they get back home, she's super withdrawn from him and, like, distant. And then one day he comes home and finds her, like, just disemboweled because of the baby, because the baby had, like, laser eyes and just cut through her stomach and like just fucked her up. And then, like, Billy had to kill the baby.
Oh shit.
Yeah, beat it to death. And then that's why. And then I'll talk about something else that's a spoiler for the comics.
Okay.
But yeah, it deviates from that because obviously that doesn't happen in the show.
Yeah, I don't know. You know what? Knowing that information, it basically makes Billy the same.
How so?
I was gonna say, thus far it seemed like Billy had like a line, and in the show it kind of threw it away. It was like, nah, yeah, Billy's totally a baby killer, because he blew himself. At that point he didn't care, who or what was in the room anymore. He was just done. He was like, okay, well, whatever, fuck it.
That was his end game.
Right. So he just blows himself up, the baby, and Homelander, but obviously that doesn't work because Homelander's Homelander. And then you think like, why didn't Homelander just kill him? Just let him die.
Well,
right
because
because Homelander's just like
he's sadistic.
Sadistic motherfucker.
So he's just like, hey, your wife is still alive. That shit that was motivating you, bullshit. And then he's really digging the knife deeper by being like, because earlier he said like, you know how they are, how the women are. They see the costume, they want some fame, they want a piece of me, Basically saying like, I didn't rape her, she was fucking willing.
She wanted it, is what he's saying.
Yeah, basically.
Oh man.
But yeah, I'm excited for season 2 just because of that. Also, side note, Billy Butcher's always been that ruthless in the comics.
Yeah, see, I didn't quite catch that, so I don't know. Maybe I'm just disappointed. Is all.
Do you guys want to hear a little bit about like what happens at the end of the comics? A little spoiler. I think I already told you I said, but like, so you know how Black Noir like doesn't really do much.
Yeah, it's basically Batman.
Sort of, but like in the comics, the same thing happens, and then he isn't important until the very end. You want to know why, Jose?
Why?
Because he's an evil clone of Homelander. He was, because when Homelander was
an evil clone.
it's redundant, I know, but when Homelander was like growing up, they're like, damn, this guy has the power of a god and can destroy everybody. We need a contingency plan, which is why it's ultimately ironic that the Batman character, like his satirical take is that he himself is a contingency plan. Yeah. Basically he's stronger, more durable and everything than Homelander, so he's basically made to like take Homelander out. And that was his whole purpose, in case he got out of control, which he didn't. Because Homelander just, kept being good and good and good. So he was just basically there near Homelander without a purpose. So what he did was he started doing some fucked up shit, like raping people, killing people indiscriminately and stuff like that, taking photos of it and then sending them to Homelander. Because in the comics before like, Huey joins the boys and all that stuff, the Seven knew about the boys because they were like government sanctioned and all that stuff to keep them in line. Not necessarily the same as in the show where he's just like, no, fuck them, we want to kill them all. It was more like
it was kind of like the police for soups.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is it?
It's like an oversight program, like.
Yeah, so the photos he kept sending to Homelander thought was from from Billy Butcher, like the boys trying to mess with him. So then he started getting like split personality or something like that, and like started getting more messed up in the head, and that was all Black Noir's plan. So that way he can finally fulfill his purpose. Where at the end, Homelander and a group of superheroes he's convinced stage a coup against the U.S. government, go to the White House, kill the president, and then Homelander's just there. And then Billy Butcher and Black Noir come in, and that's when Black Noir reveals that he's Homelander. Then he kills Homelander, and then Billy kills Black Noir.
Yo, but how?
Because Black Noir was already like fucked up from Homelander's fight, so like his brains were exposed. So he just gave him the killing blow. He was like cut down by gunfire.
Oh, okay.
And also in the comic, it's Homelander isn't as indestructible as he is in the TV show, where it seems like there's nothing that can fuck him up. In like in the comics, like for sure there's stuff that like hurts him, but like not in the TV show. Gotcha. Which is why I also like how he's written in this, because it's like, oh, he's even more terrifying, and he's got like that, like he rides in line so well between, I said this already, but like unhinged and just focused, determined, and manipulative.
Yeah, I guess you can kind of really see that when in like the Navy SEAL scene. Yeah. Where he shows up and he's just like, I got it from here, boys.
Oh, by the way, you guys are the real heroes.
Oh yeah, that's real heroes. Yeah. He just goes in there and just laser beam eyes everybody. Yeah. Just cutting people in half, and there's just limbs and blood flying everywhere.
Yeah.
Honestly, the wounds had probably gotten cauterized, but
They should have. There shouldn't have been as much blood splattering
Yeah.
around, but yeah.
it's like lightsaber strikes.
Yeah. Also, notice how when the cameras aren't rolling,
Chosen one. What?
notice how when the cameras aren't rolling, he doesn't fight as much. Like when like there's no cameras and it's just a regular mission, he just laser eyes everybody.
Oh yeah.
Whereas when the cameras are there, he's like he walks up, grabs him, fucking throws him and shit, or like does like his super breath or whatever.
Yeah.
Whereas like if he doesn't have to, he's like fuck it, laser eyes, boom, boom, boom. Why wouldn't I just do that?
He's just like, let's do it the easy way, you know? Path of least resistance.
Exactly. But also in the comics don't end there once they kill Homelander and Black Noir because Billy Butcher wants to kill all the superheroes. So what he's gonna do is he's gonna detonate like a bomb or something like that. Is in like all the Compound V, which is basically. Oh, by the way, Compound V is like the drug that gives superheroes their powers. In the TV show, they say, oh, they're chosen from God and like by birth. It's like now when they're babies, they're pumped full of this stuff. And then, by the way, the fucking laser-eyed baby at the hospital scene. That's all you gotta say. Okay.
What do you? I thought you were gonna say something about it.
I don't know.
I mean, it was funny.
Yeah.
That's
Just sit up. I feel like you laying back is giving you less energy. Sit up,
and
please.
then at the end, he's like, keep your nose clean, kid. I'm gonna spank you myself. Or he said something else. He was
He said something to that effect.
or he's like, I'm gonna step on you myself.
Yeah.
So, but okay, so there's like a baby with laser eyes. Then there's nothing significant about that baby.
No. I mean, that's kind of that was kind of like a reference to like the comics, like to the baby that he had to kill from his wife that had like the laser eyes, sort of. But I guess not really because that baby grew up and is a kid now. But yeah, there's nothing super significant. I think it was just a diabolical scene. Oh yeah, but at the end, he tries to kill all the supers by detonating like some kind of substance that's in the Compound V that just will kill every superhero, which is like millions of people. And so Mother's Milk, Frenchie, and the female try to stop Billy, and then he just fucking kills them. Then it's up to Huey. And then he almost kills Huey, but then like he goes, Huey into killing him by saying like, I've already killed your family. And then the comic just ends there. But I wonder if they're going to go with that just because like they've already basically set up that, Billy's fucking ruthless. What do you guys think is going to happen for season 2 though?
I don't know.
Dude, I don't even know. Like, where does this go? How does Billy get out of Homelander? Just, Homelander put him on the lawn with his son and wife.
Yeah.
It's like, how does he get away?
And
How does he get away from Homelander right there? Like, explain that one.
Jesus.
Riddle me this.
Don't leave so many lulls. I was still trying to get a word in edgewise.
An unlikely scenario would be if he plays like stepdad, since that's not his kid, but he wants to. This is a very unlikely scenario. I don't think it would happen, but I think there's a potential for this. Is he's like, oh, my wife is alive. I want to spend time with her, but like she's got a kid, so he kind of plays stepdad. They both kind of play. Well, he would play stepdad in the sense
he got cucked hard.
That's not his wife, and he would play stepdad because that's not his kid, but that's her kid. Yeah. So.
You know what would be crazy? Is how like in like episode 3 or something like that, Sitwell, she blackmailed that senator with the superhero that like is like a shapeshifter.
Oh yeah. Huh?
What if his wife isn't alive and that's just the shapeshifter?
Well, how would that explain the kid?
But the kid is still alive. The kid survived. The mother didn't.
So then there's like a shapeshifter playing his mom.
Why
wouldn't they just like?
Yeah, there's nothing leading up to that.
Yeah, you could basically just lie and say anybody was his mom at that point.
You could say that Sitwell didn't actually die. You could say that.
Wait, what?
I mean, if it was the shapeshifter, but we know it's not. You could basically be saying that.
That's what I'm saying. What if like it's part of Homelander's like sadistic way of torturing Billy Butcher because he's like, oh, he tried to fuck with me and set it up to where like he knew the kid was alive, but the mother
I see what
wasn't.
You're saying now. So it's just you're just saying it's just Homelander fucking with Billy.
Yeah, what if it was that?
I don't think so though. Chances in that.
If it was that, it still begs the question: how does Billy get out of there? Like Homelander just keeps messing with Billy, and then Billy finds a little moment where he can escape because Homelander's just like still playing with him. I don't know. It seems like Homelander likes to fuck with people, but I'm pretty sure he knows how dangerous Billy really is. I mean, he almost had a card on Homelander. by capturing Sitwell, he was really close to having leverage on him. And it's only because Homelander realized that Sitwell had lied to him for so long about something so important that the leverage was just gone. You know?
Sure.
Billy almost had him because, you know, throughout the series, you could see just how codependent he was when it came. Well, not codependent, but so dependent.
So
on
obsessed
Sitwell.
about Sitwell.
Yeah,
It wasn't that it was dependent. It was just that like he really craved that like motherly love. But then it also turned into something twisted because of her. Because Sitwell used that like, oh, he wants a mother.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna flash my pussy at him and control him that way too. So that's why it became something super twisted.
Yeah, it was definitely super twisted. But that's what I'm saying. Like that, you know, Billy did find
Leverage.
Homelander's weakness.
Yeah.
All right. He found the person that he gave a shit about, but poof, gone.
Yeah.
Deus Ex Machina.
Yeah, it's fucked up. Like that pop claw scene.
Oh, the one where like she's making that dude eat her ass and then like just fucking destroys his head.
That was pretty gross.
Yeah.
But I think what he's talking about is the Breaking Bad scene.
Oh yeah.
Oh
Where-
yeah.
Where he, you know, the drugs, lets her die.
Dude, A-Train like blaming Huey for it. Dude, that line shook me when he like broke into his house and he's just like, "All that shit I did was by accident. You did that shit on purpose. How is that any better than me?" I was like, "Oh shit, is Huey becoming a little bit of a bad guy now because of that?" And then,
A-Train still killed her.
I know, and had no remorse.
And he never
for it.
said sorry.
Not,
Why can't
like,
anybody say
genuinely.
sorry?
Yeah.
He straight up killed her, like just straight up. Like he was like, "You made me do that." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're the one who stuck the needles in her arm."
Yeah. I did like that they portrayed like A-Train like an athlete that's just like losing his edge and he's trying to keep it no matter what. So he's like,
That's
hooked
such a
on
black
happy.
stereotype.
It is. It is. Don't get me wrong. It is.
That's like the same thing that happened with Cyborg and Titans.
That was different. Cyborg had a disease, like a legitimate disease.
In Teen Titans?
My bad. Doom Patrol.
Oh.
That happens in Doom Patrol?
It's the same thing. Like he loses his edge in some way.
When?
In the whole show, especially when he doesn't talk with his dad anymore, and he's like, no, I can't trust my dad anymore.
Oh yeah. Okay. Remember, I didn't finish it.
You don't have to finish it to know that. That's just his storyline for that season.
Yeah.
I didn't watch it.
I still thought it was pretty well executed though with A-Train the way he was doing it. Especially his brother being like, "Yeah, I can't watch you kill yourself anymore. Your heart's getting bigger and your balls are getting smaller and your bone density's for shit." And yeah.
Oh, who was the brother?
Oh yeah, he was the dude that played what's his name in Legends of Tomorrow, right?
Yeah, that really helps to narrow it down.
I don't know his name and I don't know the character's name. I forget.
He was John Constantine's like love interest. He's a man, so it was his gay love interest in one of the seasons. But he was like a demon. I forget what his name was.
The demon's name was no, because Malice was the season before. Neuron,
yeah.
Neuron or
I
something.
forgot what the guy's name was. Was it like Dante?
No, it wasn't Dante. It was a D, but it wasn't Dante.
Okay. Well, yeah, that was him.
All right. We're approaching the home stretch, and since we don't actually have sponsorships, and
Well, we're looking for some.
yeah, because the podcast that gets 12 views could really use some sponsorships.
Yeah, we're really
wait.
good.
Let's throw out that free beer thing. See if anybody claims it. Who should we pick?
Okay. Frank, because I still miss him and I want to see him.
We already did him. He doesn't watch.
That's true. Who would watch?
Who do you think watches?
Who's gonna make it all the way to the end of this?
I don't know. I barely made
They
it to the end of
deserve.
this.
They deserve the beer if they do.
They really do.
The alcoholic drink of their choice. It doesn't have to be beer, but if they want it, it could be beer. It could be wine. It could be whiskey. It could be sangria. It could be tequila. Am I just padding the time by saying alcohols? Of course I am. It's the name of the game, baby. Because here's the thing. Jose and I have a lot more mutual friends than you do with us two. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because the three of us, we have Jonathan, Maggie, Frank, Meg, Garrett, Joanna.
I got one for me. How about you guys pick one and I'll pick one for me? You just pick one.
I don't know.
All right. So if either Gabriel or Josh are watching this, and you say the word "taking a nasty trip" to me, I'll buy you a drink of your choice.
Wow.
All right. What's yours?
Okay. Oh, I got one. If my friend Erica is watching this and she says mosh pit, then I will buy her a drink of her choice whenever she comes down this way again.
Good luck.
Yeah. Easy. Easy money, baby.
Easy money.
Jose, who's your person?
Mine.
Who's your sponsor? Sit up. Sit up.
No.
Then bring the mic closer to you. Oh, that's going to sound great in post.
My sponsor is my sister Jessica. If you say the word cheeseburger to me, then I owe you a drink.
Oh, they're about to say diapers.
Which is really easy because she just recently had a baby, so she can't even drink alcohol anyway.
Boom. See, we're choosing people who are never, who even if they say it to us, it's going to take a long time for us to get the promise.
Yeah, but at the same time, we thought we've done that with the past two, and nobody's ever claimed it.
Exactly. So at this point, what's the point?
Yours is insurance. I'm doing the casual one.
Yeah. Okay. Any final thoughts about the show you want to say?
Oh, let's give it a.
Let's give it a out of 8 rating because there's 8 episodes.
All right, I give it a 7 out of 8 tacos.
Cool. I give it a 7.5.
There's no half tacos, bro.
Yeah, there is. And I wasn't gonna say tacos. I was gonna say my own shit.
Dude.
Yeah, and it's that you can definitely have half a taco. Like when you bite into a taco and then all the lettuce falls out, like everything on top just gone. Yeah. And then like half the crunchy part just like disintegrates. There goes your taco, dude.
Yeah, then you don't have tacos. You have nachos at that point. I gotta write that down. It's a stand-up bit. Anyway, so thank you for whoever actually watched the Overanalyzer this long in. Tune in next year when we upload a video. Whatever. Tune in next year when we upload our next podcast about whatever movie or TV show we all 3 watched at the same time. Thank you and good night.
It's like that. It's like that one joke from Scarface. Remember? It was like, was the movie called "The World Is Yours"? Oh no, that's the game, huh?
All right, you want to hit stop?
Yeah, I'll go ahead. Stop.
The world is yours. Oh boy, could even control a part of Miami.